Aloha Church Ohana, as we prepare to step into 2025, I want to personally invite you into something that could change the trajectory of your year, maybe even your life. It's our annual 40-day fast. And this year, it's all about transforming our spaces into a Hale Pule, a house of prayer. You know, none of us knows what this next year will bring, but one thing we can know for sure is that every one of us will face storms and challenges along the way. And this is why we want to take time at the beginning of each year to lay a firm foundation for whatever life may bring. We want to transform our homes into, here it is, a sanctuary of God's manifest presence and ready ourselves for whatever purposes God has in store. I know the idea of fasting can feel intimidating to some, so let's take a moment to understand what this season is really about. Our hope is to prepare our hearts and give us the right perspective as we begin this journey together. So let's start with what fasting is not. Fasting is not about dieting or deprivation. Dieting might change the way you look, but fasting changes the way you see. And how many of us are believing for God to move powerfully in 2025? Amen. We don't want to miss the God things because our focus was in the wrong place. And fasting helps us to align our hearts and our eyes to the things of God so we don't miss a thing. Fasting is also not about deprivation, it's about invitation. God is not depriving us in this season, He's inviting us to feast on the good things He has in store. Proverbs 27:7 says, "The full soul loathes honey, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet." In other words, sometimes we're so full of lesser things, distractions, entertainment, even worries, that we lose our appetite for the sweetness of God's presence. Fasting creates spiritual hunger. And in that hunger, we start to see God's goodness in ways we maybe never noticed before. Taste and see that the Lord is good, Psalm 34:8 says. And this fast is about doing just that. It's about clearing the table of distractions so we can feast on the goodness of God. The second myth we need to debunk is that fasting is not about working our way closer to God or somehow earning His favor. Instead, fasting is about clearing space in our busy lives to experience the presence of God in fresh and powerful ways. Think of it this way. Fasting helps us quiet the noise so that we can tune into the voice of the Father who's already seeking us. The distractions of life, whether it's social media, endless entertainment, or even just busyness, can block our ability to hear Him clearly. Fasting clears that static and helps us refocus on what really matters. Our theme for this upcoming year, Hale Pule, means every house a house of prayer. Imagine your home, your workplace, your daily spaces being so full of God's presence that they become places of healing, growth, and transformation, not just for you, but for everyone who steps inside. That's what this fast is all about, preparing our hearts and homes to become sacred spaces where God moves in powerful ways. Now, true biblical fasting is about abstaining from food. So for some, this time might mean giving up certain meals or types of food, but for others, it could mean stepping away from other types of distractions like social media, TV, or maybe perhaps some unnecessary commitments. But here's the key. Whatever occupies the most time and energy in your life could be the thing that may need to go for a while. Personally, I've found incredible victory through taking breaks from what I call recreational media. So every year I take a pause from things like YouTube, games, shows, and let me tell you, the clarity and the peace and joy I experience when I step away from those things for a while is so worth it. So I want to challenge you to ask yourself, what is filling your life so much that it is crowding out room for God? Fasting is not about removing good things to punish ourselves. It's about making space in our lives for God things and more of His presence. So, what can we expect during this fast? First, you might notice that fasting is less about striving and more about resting. It's not about addition, but subtraction. As we remove distractions and things that eat away at our time, we'll find more time to be still before God and hear what He's saying to us. Be still and know that I am God, Psalm 46:10 reminds us. Also, this is an opportunity for families and communities to grow together. This fast isn't just for individuals, it's for entire households. Imagine how powerful it would be for your entire family to pray, worship, and grow closer during this season. The early church modeled this beautifully, meeting house to house, breaking bread, and growing stronger in faith and fellowship. We'll also be starting a brand new 40-day YouVersion devotional together as a church, so watch out for that in the new year. This fast is about preparing us for what God has in store for 2025. He has God things waiting for us, and we don't want to miss it because we're too distracted. Isaiah 43:19 says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" Church, I don't want us to miss a single thing God has planned. This fast is our chance to clear the clutter, quiet our spirits, and open our eyes to His work in our lives. As we begin this 40-day journey, I want to encourage you, step into this season with expectancy. Ask God what He wants to speak to, heal, or reveal in your life. And remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about pursuit. So whether you're fasting from food or media or something else, know that you're making room for God who's already pursuing you. Let's make 2025 a year of seeing clearly, hearing clearly, and living fully in His presence. So I want to encourage you to spend these last weeks of this year discerning what God is calling you to pause from in 2025, and let's make every hale a Hale Pule, a house of prayer.